What's up, guys? It is Jay High from Couch and Keyboard, and I am a little bit late, but I am doing a overview of some recent Japanese results for Ultimate. Now, we obviously saw Kaguribi was crazy, but there was some more stuff that happened right after. Some people stayed in Japan an extra a few days, even a week, and we saw some cool stuff. A little bit of spoiler here for who won, but the journey was pretty cool. It's not just about the destination. This was Cafeteria Kings, a 2-day invitational here, and it was cool. I like there being larger pools. I don't love round robin pools, but if you're gonna do it, don't just do 4. It's a waste. Do more. And we saw some really interesting sets now. Inkling Goat Shiryuki, not too hot here, but Gluto very strong. No, not even taking a game 5 at any of these. Kolo also pretty good. Umeki, mid. But Zozef, a pretty good Saudi Arabian. Roy was able to do well. Omega having some close sets, clutching it out. Got some Georgia up in here, but yeah, I think this was a cool pool. Pool 2 was interesting. We had not the most Japanese representation. There's a decent amount of people outside of Japan, to where we had, I guess, a lot of Georgia between Wrath and Spickles. You also had Loaf, the Minnesota, Midwest of some kind. But yeah, we no one went winless here. We had, I believe this is Fire. Not the best pools performance here. Spickles doing pretty good against Matsunabe and Loaf. Loaf only getting this win on Fire. Mild did good in a lot of these matchups. Lost both of these game 5. Wrath coming out unscathed. Matsunabe getting a couple wins. It was pretty interesting though. To where, like, definitely, like, Fire did good, but had a couple weaker matchups here. But yeah, it had a lot of parity here, a lot of close. I mean, the person that took the least amount of games, you had 2 that took 8 games. That's a lot. So yeah, I think this is a pretty even pool, pretty interesting to see. Pool 3 was also pretty unique in terms of, yeah, like no one went winless and no one went lossless. A lot of parity here. Crepe Soleil did lose to is this Akaki Kusu, I believe? Yeah, Akaki Kusu. Which, very good hero, debatably hero goat. I'll have to go into that in a later video. But yeah, Crepe Soleil doing well. I think a matchup check, honestly. I don't know how much hero experience Crepe has. Mark also doing very good. Clutch in some of these. Shinda Lion having 4 out of 5 game 5 sets. That's pretty wild. A lot more Japan. I guess 4 out of 6 instead of 3. But yeah, a lot of Japan here. You had Akaki Kusu, Tamago, Mark, one of the best Yoshis right now. And you also had Akaki Kusu. Then you had Crepe Soleil, and then you had some more Georgia with Mugen, Hyper Kirby, and you had a lot of Roy this event. So I hope you know the Roy matchup. But Shinda Lion doing very good, getting some in-region wins here. Barely lost to Mugen, barely lost to Crepes, or not barely, but like having a lot of game 5 sets. And yeah, beating Tamago and Akaki Kusu. Good stuff to Shinda Lion. I think third best Ganon. You could argue even higher, just only getting more. And then this was an odd pool. Neo still got the top seed, but lost to Jazo. But Jazo lost to some of these, lower players. I haven't really heard of this player, the Wii Fit here. I guess Mane. I don't know much about them, but definitely did good here, going 3-2. Lucky, the Piranha Plants, not doing the best. They get a Reno win. Reno kind of had a tough bracket here. One of the better buy lists, but also going Greninja and Pokemon Trainer. I was surprised by that. But yeah, Jazo still did okay. Jazo, another Georgia player, a lot of Georgia representation. Yonpi is that's Japanese. I'm thinking of Natoru and Dryby, both being Dryby being German, Natoru being I think French, but Europe. So no Europe in this pool. To people that have that Pichu experience. Neo still doing fine here. But yeah. A lot of players with a winning record. So Lucky and Reno kind of had a tough pool here. But final bracket was pretty interesting. You had most people, or I think it was half and half, which I think is cool. I don't think you need to have a ton of people in losers. I think you can mix it up a little bit, give people the chance. Zozev coming back, beating Mild, so does force Mild to have a pretty early losers. But then Shinalion beat Omega, Mugen beats Fire. I just forgot the Leaf's name again. But Shiryuki, being one of the winless players, had a pretty good run, beating Matsunabe and Akaki Kusu. Umeki, I said was doing mid, but got top 8. So good stuff. You'd have American run back here with Jazo and Loaf. Unfortunate, but that's how it goes. Hard for America to win sometimes, and yeah. So I think Reno being the only person to go Ofer, which I like. I think having a ton of players that go winless, what's the point? Like, I would rather have people actually win sets again, even if it's lower level players. At least win, Shiryuki getting 9th, Mile getting 9th, UMP getting 9th, Zoga also getting 9th. Pretty interesting. Everyone that won their pool stayed in winners, but we did have Neo over Gluto. We had Cola and Crepe Soleil very close. Cola lost to Mugen in the Ditto, which, they played so much over the years, it's not that crazy. Mark had a really good run, beating Umeki Shiryuki. Matsunabe was not trying to play that Falco matchup. I think Shiryuki is pretty good against Spaceys. But yeah, so we had both Europeans lost, and then we had we had only which Neo is technically I think Indonesia, but only one Asia in top 4, with Mark and Umeki getting in top 8. So yeah, you didn't have like the top 4 or even like top 6, even if you include Shuton and Nashimo. But yeah, this was pretty cool to see the Invaders do. Crepe Soleil did lose to Wrath, and then Wrath ended up winning it all. Game 15 between Wrath and Neo. People don't love watching Wrath, but this is still very impressive. I think you gotta give credit here. And if you care about NA, Wrath is getting up there in terms of the NA vendors or whatever. Like, Tweak is not as prevalent. Still did well, but like Syrup not as prevalent. Cola is doing fine, but like Peanut and Wrath are the Southeast is rising up and doing much better. It's not just the Northeast anymore. Also Louis Money holding it down too. But yeah, good stuff to Wrath winning this. And then you had Sumabato, a decently sized event, but pretty top heavy. Now in pools, you didn't have too much, but if you scroll down, you notice that Mia is in losers. Mark is in losers. A lot of this being pretty nuts. Lost to, I believe this was a Little Mac. Did go Sword Fighter in this, but Sai beat Mia. This was nuts. This was a very, very surprising upset. And so Mia not having the best season, but definitely surprising some people being losers this early. You have Kome, Mark. You have a lot of players down here really early. Taike getting 65th. That's tough. But yeah, like this was pretty wild. Saya, I believe, having a very good past few weeks here. Tarek not doing the best. Yonpi benefiting off of this. Jazo having a ton of Roy experience. Alice beating Jazo. And then Atish doing pretty good. I heard that Raru had kind of some tough circumstances, but still got the dub. And then The ZSS having another really good run. Mile kind of lost early. I think Karage as well. So in terms of top seeds, Wrath doing very good. Consistency from Wrath really benefiting from this trip. But Ashimo doing pretty good. We didn't have a ton of top seeds here that we saw at Kagaribi. It was Ryuo being a top 6 seed, but losing a little bit early. But yeah, we had some surprises here. Spargo looking pretty favorable going into top 8. Mia having a very long losers run though, Kananabe as well. Both doing very good, especially Mia though. And yeah, so this was pretty crazy to have Mia go this far. One of the biggest losers run of all time. Ashimo over Nyonpi, not crazy. Wrath having to go into Mia is pretty tough. Losing to the people that would be in Grands, spoiler. This was Snow, I believe. So Snow doing pretty fine. When did Snow lose? I feel like this was also a decent losers run too. This is Snow, right? Let me check. Yeah. So Snow, the 12th seed, kind of falling down a little bit. Snow used to be, Mario main, doing very, very good. Not quite as strong. Ashimo getting third here is definitely expected. Kind of roundabout, only taking one game in top 3, but still very good from Ashimo. Consistency, got to admire Ashimo for that, doing solidly top 20 in the world multiple times. And then Mia took set 1, but Spargo bounced back. And so Spargo winning the event, only dropping 1 set to Mia and being pretty dominant outside of that. So good stuff to Spargo. This was pretty interesting to see. While this doesn't really matter as much as Kagaribi did, this was cool. I mean, you had NA being able to take 2 events. This one being less top heavy, but still gives a lot of valuable data. Sometimes head-to-heads doesn't matter as much as kind of the points and how much the event kind of counts or whatever. But this is cool. I think when you're caring about Zozev having some pretty good stuff here, Zozev doesn't get a ton of chances. Mark, if you're caring about Yoshi right now, Yoshidora not doing as much. Mark kind of holding them down. Mark responded to my tweet about best Yoshi, so shout outs to Mark, doing very good. Omega, not the best run for Omega. Kind of tough, losing early. Georgia sticking it around. I give a lot of props to them for doing this, but not the best, but that's okay. I think you gotta put yourself out there. You gotta try, and sometimes there's gonna be tough brackets. I mean, Jazo getting out early, but Georgia at the end of the day still did very well. Wrath getting 5th place, and Cola doing fine too. Right? Where did Cola go? I'm looking for. I don't know if Cola actually entered this. My bad. At least Cola did fine at this. Mugen also doing pretty well there. But yeah, no, I think that this was a really cool time. I believe people are going home now. We're gonna see some events coming up. Not as much. I think Vacation Land is not going to be super stacked, but there's going to be some stuff here and there. And yeah, I'm very curious to see how things kind of swell down. We'll see Battle BC, a lot of people attending. There's going to be a ton of stuff like Boom 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 at some point. But yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. And I think that kind of as we see people go back to where they're from and kind of go to more regionals, maybe smaller majors, I think it'll be cool to kind of see how much they've grown from it, how much they've experienced, and kind of see how people continue from that. I think it's cool. So yeah, shouts to Japan for hosting this stuff. I know it's sometimes you don't profit as much. It's tough going. I wouldn't say the Lion's Den because Japan's pretty chill most of the time. But yeah, props to all these players for traveling. Even if you get teased a little bit, if you didn't do that great, it's still awesome that you went. And I give a lot of props to who did. It's good entertainment too. So yeah.